Man, I'm doing good today. I woke up this morning really energized. I'm not sure exactly why, considering I got a really crappy night's sleep, right? I'm sitting there in the middle of the night, all of a sudden my eyes pop open. I'm like, damn, damn. What do you do about that, right? Feeling pretty good, though. Feeling really good, actually. How about you? You got things going your way? What I'm hoping to hear from you is eventually my plan for you is, and this relationship is that you send me a message and say, hey Chris, I listened to your podcast. I started doing some of the things that you had suggested. My life is perfect now and I don't need to listen to your podcast anymore. That'd be friggin' rocking, wouldn't it? Be cool as hell. Imagine I'd be sitting back going, all right, baby, I guess what I did, I changed the world. Can you imagine? That's the big plan for this. It's funny, people look at you, especially me, because I've done so many things, and the first thing they do is they go, oh, what's he want? What's he want? Don't want anything. I'm trying to give you something. Like, well, he can't really be that nice. I know him. I know that's strange, isn't it? But it's true. I'm actually this nice now. That's crazy. So, and how did I get there? That's the issue. That's the whole story is about. I mean, and it extends even beyond when we started the podcast. When you look back at Sandy and my wife and I's lives, or how do you say that? Sandy and I's life. My wife and I, we struggled. We faced insurmountable odds. I should be in prison and she should be somewhere. I don't know where, but it shouldn't be where it's at. We shouldn't have retired at 54, and we did. I think back, how did we do that? How do you get from where we were to where we are now? 40 years married, 3 successful children who don't need us. They love us. They all love us, but none of them need us. How do you get there? When I look back to explain it to you, it really comes down to we just chose it. We chose it. And what was funny is we didn't look at it from the standpoint of how hard it was going to be, because by the time when we got together, everything we did was difficult. I mean, I made our first coffee table out of some old boards and some 4x4s. So anything that we could do that would send our life, anything we could do to improve our position was a plus. It was a major plus in the beginning, right? But in talking about living your best life and talking about how it is that you take your life and you transform it into something that's better, that first step is really important. You have to choose it. Now, I'm not talking about the I'm gonnas. I'm not talking about those conversations, hypothetical conversations about things you dream of doing, you've been dreaming of doing for years, but it's never gotten past the I'm gonna stage, right? You have to actually choose it. And that's verbalized. I verbalize what my goals are so that they exist. The thought is not enough. I have to say it. And what I do is I challenge myself and I put other people in the loop. I tell my wife, this podcast is great for that, for holding me accountable, right? I will tell you, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing, right? It's a public record. It's an audible record of our action. Choose something that you want to add to your life, or choose something you don't want. Unless, of course, let's go back to this. Unless, of course, you're interested in trying to throw that line of bullcrap at me about just how amazing your life is. And what's the funniest statement I've ever heard anyone say, the arrogant guy who's got everything, he's like, well, I wouldn't change anything about my life. Anyone who has the nerve to say that's a fool. And what's really cool about it is you're not fooling me, because I've spent more time thinking about what it is to live your best life than anyone I know, right? I'm the expert on this topic, I think. I'm going to write a book about it, so maybe that'll give me some credibility. Don't want to change anything about your life, right? Even if your life's perfect, let me see here. How about 2 weeks in Hawaii? How about a month skiing in Breckenridge? How about taking 6 months a year off? Have 6 months where you don't have to work, don't have to do anything. How about making $1 million in a year? I mean, I chose something. I chose 365 podcasts in 365 days. And I'm sure there'll be some troll out there that'll throw something in about, well, I don't know if you did it in 365. I think you missed one here. Let's check the dates. Yeah, 365 podcasts in a row, right? For the troll who wants to pick apart my effort, right? Even though that same person hasn't done anything. It starts with that choice. Now, where does that come from? Well, if you're like most people, you wake up the same time every day, 5 or 6 days a week. You go through the same series of actions 5 or 6 days a week. And even on the weekends, for the most part, aside from an occasional diversion where you actually say, hey, so I'm not going to work in the house. Let's just go for a picnic. Let's go fishing. Let's go do something. Your routine, your life is exactly a series of steps. And we add some things to it. We take some things away. But for the most part, that's that sequence. It's the rhythm of life, right? Choosing it requires you to add something or take something away from that rhythm. If you don't like mowing your lawn, then maybe you can hire someone, make a choice to hire someone to do your yard work for you. And guess what? Just like that, you've changed it. And you chose something. And what it does is it frees up time. It lessens your obligations to the point that you can choose something else in its stead or in its place that's a hell of a lot more fun. Because you're never going to go anywhere until you go somewhere. And it's funny is I describe life as a pond. Okay, this American dream, and I'm going to go back to the American dream, and I used to apologize for that. I'm not apologizing for that. This isn't an indication that I'm non-patriot, that I'm non-American. I love this country. But this idea that it's okay for us to spend our lives in debt, to grind our lives out working for stuff, for all those boxes of stuff you have stacked up in your garage. My thing is, okay, get your stuff, but if you're not using it, why are you getting it? And that's what we're doing. There's this massive race. This whole issue is based on scarcity, right? Go ahead and choose, but just choose something good. Because here's the deal. For those naysayers out there who think, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. He talks in circles, right? Let's go ahead and let me clarify this for you. The foundation of this whole concept comes down to this. There are things in your life that you love to do, and there are things in your life you don't. Choose more of the stuff you love to do. And people go, well, yeah, I can't, but I have to work. Now, you don't work all the time unless you work 24 hours a day. And if you don't want to work 24 hours a day, then what you have to do is you have to eliminate those things that require you to work 24 hours a day. Right? And what would that thing be? What was the number one thing that's stopping you from doing the things you love to do? Debt. You don't hear anybody on a TV commercial showing those fancy-ass cars and then following it up. Oh, by the way, if you get this car, you're never going to go fishing again. Oh, by the way, if you buy this big-ass house, you're only going to get to go fishing once a month. Oh, if you make this choice, hey, if you go ahead and go in debt for this house, that camper that you bought right after you guys got married, it's going to sit in the backyard and it's just going to fall apart. No more camping for you, bro. Hope you like what you chose. I'm not trying to be a hard ass, but the point is, it's true. It's true. There's nothing magical about this, but here's the resistance part of it. Let me just explain this to you because people have trouble with this. So why does it feel so wrong for you to agree with me? Why is it so hard for you to say, Chris, I think you're right. I think you're right. Maybe I should get rid of some of these things or at least sit down and ask myself questions about why I chose what I chose. Obviously busting your ass 10 hours a day doing what you do isn't any fun. But what makes it worse is the stuff you have to do afterward. It's more stuff you have to do that isn't any fun. I don't fault you for working your ass off every day. The fault comes in the time that you spend when you're not working. What are you doing then? That's when the big choice comes in. I spent 23 and a half years working in a federal prison, and guess what? It sucked. Now, there were some really wonderful moments, and I say wonderful, and people go, wow, federal prison, wonderful. Yeah, there were some wonderful moments during that experience, right? Because I looked for opportunities to create those wonderful moments. I chose ways to enhance the experience. Instead of me being the asshole officer and the asshole teacher and instructor, I chose to embrace the people that I was working with, the guys in prison, not physically, of course, but embrace their plight and do what I can to help them make better choices. And guess what? Even when I missed the mark with those guys, when they missed the mark and they just couldn't see it, guess what? My life got better. I was an angry guy. I was a mad guy for a long time. Ask anyone who knows me. If you know me, you know what I'm talking about. Unapproachable. And how is it that I sit here now and my whole story is based on trying to help you explore more of the possibilities of life, to live a better life, not on my standard, not by my standard, but rather by yours. It's because I chose it. Now, the choice has to be connected to who you are. There's a reason I'm doing a podcast. There's a reason I do video. It's because I love it. I love the idea, even if it's not real, even if no one is listening to what I'm doing and no one is on my YouTube channel checking out my videos. Guess what? I love it. You know why? Because of the story I've built around it. And more than that, because it fits who I am. I get done. I lay my head down every night and I look back at my day and I know there are things in my life I did because it inspires me. Question is, can you do the same thing? When you lay your head back down tonight, before you close your eyes, or close your eyes, but before you go to sleep, think about your day and think about how many inspirational moments you had in your day. Moments where you were completely within yourself and you were completely consumed by the thing you were doing, not because of any other reason except it was amazing, it was great, it was connected to who you are. Out there working out in the park, there are times when I forget that it feels like I'm the only one in the universe because of how it feels to do what I do. And how did I get there? I asked myself, what can I do to make my life better? What can I do that will add value to my life? It doesn't matter to me if you like working out or not. That's not the deal here. The reason I chose it is because I do. If you want to do something for yourself, take a minute. Take an inventory of the things you do in your life every day. Take an inventory, take a list. If you have to, get a tablet, a piece of paper, and a pencil, and write down the major things you do every day. And as you look at each one of those things, think about why you actually do them. Is it because it's so great? Because it's just amazing? Because it inspires you? Or maybe it could be because it's taken your life to a new level. It's actually adding value to your life. Maybe you're struggling with that new job because you're saving all that money to go to college. Maybe you're struggling with working 2 jobs because your plan is to be debt-free and you're paying that off. But if you're not looking at the things you're doing and asking yourself why you're doing them, how is it that you will ever be able to establish if you're on the right path? Now, here's the struggle we face. Everyone faces this struggle. Choose it, right? Choose it. Then you got the guy who says, well, I don't have to do anything. My life's perfect. No, it's not. No, it's not. You can never have more time. There's always room for more time. There's always room for more money. There's always room for more kindness. There's always room to help someone change something in their life, even if it's not you. And chances are you're not living a perfect life. There are things in your life that are not being taken care of, that are the wrong fit or don't fit at all, and you grind through them every day. And all it would take is for you to sit down and ask that question, why did I choose what I chose? And how can I change it? How can I make it better? I hope you keep that in mind. I hope you think about this, because I don't know if it's changing. The dynamic for me is changing. I don't have time to make excuses or to make apologies for why this doesn't work. It works. I'm living proof of it. 300 and some odd days ago, I didn't have a podcast. While everyone else in the world was crying about the world coming to an end, I said, well, I'll make a podcast. Maybe I can help some people, right? Will this benefit me? You guarantee it. Just watch and come along for the ride. I really appreciate the fact you guys keep showing up. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for your support. It really feels great because it feels like it's worth it for me, and it's adding fuel to my tank. Let's not forget the kindness. And as always, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.